Yeah, you hear I'm searching. You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
Yeah. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our Father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our Father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History. Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History. Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? History, history.
Now we going back. He done on my back for sure. When I let the truth go, we gon' let them know. My people on my back for sure. I hold them down for the road. The Lord Almighty made me. Laws I got, they changed me. We can see the truth now. Got them looking crazy. Man, I'm always searching. Yeah, you hear I'm searching. You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
Yeah. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our Father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our Father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History. Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History. Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? History, history.
Now we going back. He done on my back for sure. When I let the truth go, we gon' let them know. My people on my back for sure. I hold them down for the road. The Lord Almighty made me. Laws I got, they changed me. We can see the truth now. Got them looking crazy. Man, I'm always searching. Yeah, you hear I'm searching. You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
Yeah. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our Father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our Father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History. Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History. Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Do you know Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? History, history.
Now we going back, he done on my back for sure. When I let the truth go, we gon' let them know. My people on my back for sure. I hold them down for the road. The Lord Almighty made me, Lord I God, they changed me. We can see the truth now, got them looking crazy. Man, I'm always searching, yeah. You hear I'm searching. You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
Yeah. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History, history. Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History, history. Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? Do you know it? Tell me, do you know it? History, history.
Now we going back, he done on my back for sure. When I let the truth go, we gon' let them know. My people on my back for sure. I hold them down for the road. The Lord Almighty made me, Lord I God, they changed me. We can see the truth now, got them looking crazy. Man, I'm always searching, yeah. You hear I'm searching. You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching.
You hear me, boy, I'm searching. Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Your enemies been teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history? History, history. Yeah. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Do you know your history?
Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? You are now tuned into
Our Hidden History radio show.
Yeah, man. It's a lot. Okay, turn the applaud off. All right. That was pretty abrupt. Hey, we're back. This left Patient Saints Radio. So if I say anything stupid today, you'll know I was exposed to stupidity that took away at least 50% of my intelligence dealing with that. That dude was crazy. Amazing. Amazing. So let's just jump right into it.
Amazingly stupid.
Amazingly, yeah. So as you know, we are entering now officially into the rise of Rome. We are in the time of the Gentiles. We are officially into the rise of Rome. But before we do that, whoa, what was that about? Well, I broke up. Okay. Before we do that, you hear me? I'm coming in?
Yes, sir.
All right, before we do that, as I can't hear myself. Before we do that, we're going to recap really quickly on the Greek captivity. We left off with John Hyrcanus. Simon was killed by his son-in-law, and John Hyrcanus, his son, takes over. Now, unfortunately, there's no scriptural history that revolves around John Hyrcanus. Hyrcanus, only when he proceeds to the throne, when he succeeds to the throne rather, after his father Simon and his brothers are killed, he takes over. So before we dive into that, I want to recap real quick on some things regarding the Greek captivities, and I want to go real quick into Nehemiah 12. Now, when I went over the Persian captivity, I went over the history about Nehemiah, Ezra, and how our forefathers were heavily involved into interracial marriages based upon the assimilation of the policies of Assyria and Babylon, where we were pretty much like intermingled with the nations, and during the exile, when we were allowed to return, based upon the decree of Cyrus, you had like Joshua's sons is going off. A few of the priests, a lot of the Levite priests are going off and marrying other nations, and so Israel, followed behind the leaders, did the same thing. We had mentioned Eliashib. Some of y'all may have forgotten, but I went over Eliashib, like way back during Persian captivity. I had touched on Eliashib, so I want to go back to him really quickly. Let's go into that. So give me Nehemiah 12, and we're gonna read verse 10. Nehemiah 12 and 10.
Yes, sir. The book of Nehemiah, chapter 12 and verse 10. And Jeshua begot Jehoiakim, and Joachim also begot Eliashib, and Eliashib begot Joiada.
So Jeshua, this is the same Jeshua you read about that pretty much was pretty much with Zerubbabel. Zerubbabel, you had Zerubbabel, and Joshua had sons, and Eliashib was one of them. But who we want to focus on is let's read on. Watch this.
Yes, sir. Verse 11. And Joiada begot Jonathan.
And Joiada begot Jonathan. I've heard some scholars say that's a transcript error. That Jonathan is really Joannan, which doesn't really make a difference. The same name, John, Joannan, John, same thing. So Jonathan begat who? Read again.
And Joiada begot Jonathan.
So Jeshua begat Joachim. Joachim is the Joachim you read about back in Judith. Same Joachim, okay? This is Joshua's son. Joachim, the same Joachim you read about in Judith, the book of Judith, is the same Joachim right here, okay? I went over that before in Persian captivity. And Joachim begat who?
And Joachim also begot Eliashib.
And Joachim begat Eliashib, okay? The priest that was around during Ezra and Nehemiah's time. That's Eliashib, okay? And his sons went the hell off also. Read on.
And Eliashib begot Joiada.
And Eliashib begat Joiada, who's mentioned in Ezra and Nehemiah's time. Go ahead.
And Joiada begot Jonathan.
And Joiada begat Jonathan. Go ahead.
And Jonathan begot Jaddua.
And Jonathan begat Jaddua. Jonathan begat Jaddua. Now, this is the history that goes long after Zerubbabel and Joshua. These are priests that succeeded after. So Jaddua, Jonathan or Joannan begat Jaddua. There we go. That sounds way better. There we go. Okay. It sounds a little staticky, but better. And Jonathan begat Jaddua. And Jonathan begat Jaddua, right? So, real quick, let me see something real quick. What was I reading just now? What was I reading just now? One second. You here? I'm sending this to y'all right now. Hold on. I'm gonna send this to y'all right now. Boom.
Hey.
All right. I sent y'all a link on the group me regarding Jadua. So jump to verse. That was 10:11, right?
Yes, sir.
Now jump to verse 20.
6.
Hey, brothers,
No.
turn up Deacon Mike a little.
20. Give me a moment.
They say
Jadua.
they can't hear the deacon.
Jadua. Eliashib. Where is it? Okay, 22.
Yes, sir.
22, yes.
Verse 22. The Levites in the days of Eliashib, Joiada, and Johanan, and Jadua.
And Jadua. And read again.
The Levites in the days of Eliashib, Joiada,
Joiada.
and Johanan,
Johanan.
and Jadua.
And Jadua. So Johanan or Jonathan is the same person, but Johanan is the father of Jadua. All right, that's why I was saying it may be an error regarding Jonathan. Johanan is pretty much the same name, so it's not really an error. Jonathan, Johanan, same thing, and Jadua were what?
Were recorded chief of the fathers, also the priests.
So these guys are chief priests. You really had two chief priests in a way. You had a high priest, but you had two really, because you had like the high priest and you had like the assisting high priest. Okay, so you really had one, but you had like the assisting. Because remember, Aaron had two sons. So when one son, both of them were both priests, really, but one was the main priest, the top, the high chief priest, and you had like an assistant priest. So, for example, let's say me and I won't say Jez is another tribe, but if I
Judah, baby.
okay, yeah. Well, anyway, if me and Jez are Levites and we're brothers, and our father was Aaron, and I had a bunch of daughters and no sons, then he had a son. His son would take over. Then, of course, my daughters would marry other Levites, whatever. It's like that. It's pretty much like that, in that way, in that sense, like that. So, make a long story short, well, yeah, that wasn't really the case. So they usually had sons. They had a bunch of kids. But the point is that they would pretty much share that priesthood in a way. But there was always one high priest. But you had one I call it the assisting priest, like the assisting high priest and the high priest. Kind of like a bishop and a deacon, same thing in a way. All right, like Moses was a high priest too, but Aaron was a high priest as well. All right, so in this instance, just to bring the confusion, you had Levites, you had Eliashib, Joiada, Johanan, and Jadua. Why do I keep emphasizing Jadua? We'll get there in a moment. Jadua. Now, I sent y'all a link. Jadua is the father of a particular individual. All right. Please read that real quick.
Yes, sir. Jadua, high priest in the second temple period. Jadua was a great-grandson of Eliashib.
Right. He's a great-grandson. We read that earlier. He's a great-grandson of Eliashib. I believe Eliashib was the one that was around Nehemiah and Ezra's time. Go ahead.
And commenced to minister in the priesthood 400 BCE. According to Nehemiah 12, verse 11. His father's name was Jonathan, but many are of the opinion that the reading there should be Johanan.
Whatever. Same thing. So Nehemiah 12 and 22 says Johanan. Nehemiah 12 and 10, where is it? 12 and 10 says Jonathan, but whatever. Same name. Go ahead. It's John. John is John. Go ahead.
As in Nehemiah 12, verse 22.
Right, there you go. Go ahead.
Josephus, Antiquities 11, 317.
Right, so Josephus makes mention of Jadua and his importance. Go ahead, watch this.
Tells of a high priest called Jadua, who
Right.
was a contemporary of Alexander the Great.
So he was around the time when Alexander the Great was not yet, had any power yet. His father was still alive during this time, Alexander the Great's father. Go ahead.
When Alexander reached Syria, he sent envoys to the high priest requesting him to transfer his allegiance to him. But he refused because of his oath of loyalty to Darius.
Right, so he asked Jadua to pledge allegiance to him. He said, nah, I'm still loyal to the Persians. Go ahead.
This enraged Alexander, who marched against Jerusalem with his army. Jadua prayed to God, and in the night had a dream which gave him courage. He went out to welcome Alexander, clothed in his priestly garments, together with his fellow priests and all the people of Jerusalem.
This is according to Josephus. So I know Jada was real. Alexander was real, so it's a possibility it's legitimate. Go ahead, watch this.
Clad in white. When Alexander saw the high priest, he prostrated himself before him,
He laid on the floor. Go ahead.
explaining that he was bowing to the God to whom this priest ministered.
So Alexander gave honor to our God. Go ahead, watch this.
That the priest had appeared to him in a dream and encouraged him to venture forth against the Persians and assure him of victory.
Wow. So Alexander told the priest that God had told him to go against the Greeks and he'll be successful. Why? Because Daniel prophesied that Alexander. Remember, Daniel 8 makes mention of Alexander the Great. Okay, Daniel spoke about Alexander before he was born, pretty much. Go ahead.
He subsequently acceded to Jaddua request on behalf of the Jews. According to Josephus, Jaddua died a short time after the death of Alexander,
Right.
and transmitted his office to his son Onias.
And transmitted his office to his son Onias. Now I'm saying, well, who's Onias? Onias, give me Sirach now. Give me 1 second.
That was a lot of nice.
Yeah, he just blows a whole bunch of them. But I want to read. I'm going to show y'all. Hold on a second. I'm going to show y'all who his son is. His son's in the Bible. Give me a moment.
Chapter 50, Deacon.
Yeah, but that's not what I want. Let me look for it. It's 50. Yeah, hold on a second.
In this passage that we're reading from the Jewish Virtual Library here, because in another book, History of the Jews also says that the same thing, where Alexander had that dream, okay, before he came to the high priest, that he was going to take over the Persian. He was going to conquer the Persians. Sorry, that he's going to conquer the Persian. That he was going to rule. All right. So what happened is going to show. They show that Alexander acknowledged our God.
Right.
He acknowledged our God for that thing.
I read somewhere else where it says that Alexander read the Bible and read about himself.
Right.
That's what it says. He read the Bible. The Bible came into his possession. He read it or got word of it and said, "Oh, that's me." And that's why he went to visit Jaddua. That's why. 2 Maccabees 3:1.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 3 and verse 1. Now when the holy city was inhabited with all peace, and the laws were kept very well, because of the godliness of Onias the high priest, and his hatred of wickedness.
This Onias right here is Onias the third. Is Onias the third. All right. So the Onias in 2 Maccabees. Hold on a second. Let me make sure I don't mix it up. Sirach 50. So no one say, "Oh, Deacon's wrong." Hold on a second. Sirach 50. I wrote it down who it is. Sirach 50 and verse 1.
And also, this also happened with Cyrus too. When Cyrus came into power, it showed that Daniel showed him. Supposedly, Daniel had showed him that he was going to be the one to rule during the Persian captivity. All right, and then when you read in Ezra 1, when he acknowledges our God, that's the reason, because he understood that he was going to be the one to give the proclamation to our people to let us go.
Yes, Sirach. Read that thing again. The virtual library again. Jaddua.
Jaddua. You want me to start from the beginning, Deacon?
No, it's regarding who is the regarding who.
Oh,
is,
nice.
Yeah.
He said he subsequently acceded to Jaddua's request on behalf of the Jews. According to Josephus, Jaddua died a short time after the death of Alexander and transmitted his office to his son Onias.
Hold on. All right, you had Jaddua. Hold on, I'm gonna read it here. You had Jaddua here. I'm trying to find him. Jaddua. I'm trying to see his son Onias. It says his son who? His son Onias?
Yes, sir. To his son Onias.
Give me 1 second. Say something, Trez. Let me find something real quick.
Right. I think is it the same Onias that wrote to the Hasmoneans?
I want to make sure, because in Sirach 50 verse 1, this Simon here is Simon II, the high priest, and this is the son of Onias II. So it says the son of Onias. So Simon the high priest, the son of Onias. This is Onias the second right here.
Right, because it was like Onias 1, Onias 2, Onias
right.
3.
So this is Onias, son of Onias here in Sirach 50 is Onias the second. He had a son named Simon. And then you have Onias the third is mentioned here in 2 Maccabees 3:1. So Jaddua is the father of Onias the first. Okay? So I'll say it again. So Jaddua is the father of Onias the first. And then Onias the first had Onias the second, and Onias the second had Simon, and then Simon had Onias the third. Phew, there you go. Oh shit, it's confusing, man. Because our forefathers named their sons. You know, we did the same thing the Greeks did, pretty much. So basically, so Jaddua is the father of Onias the first. He's the father of the first Onias the first. Then Onias the first had Onias the second. Onias the second had Simon the second. And then Simon the second had Onias the third. Okay? There you go.
I can back you up, D.
You got it? All right, cool.
Back you up real quick.
You got some stuff on it. You got some books on that.
Hurry up.
Now you're probably wondering, why am I going through all this? Why am I going backwards to Persia? Just follow me. I'm making a point here. Remember, this is a recap. So this is this is before Alexander becomes the actual king. All right? I read somewhere where it says that he actually read it. Let me see if I can find it.
Oh, where Alexander actually read?
Mm-hmm. It says he read it.
Yeah, so it's not far-fetched that these other nations, we was showing them the prophecy that, look, y'all, you're going to rule. So they acknowledged our God for that thing, you know? So Alexander gave, because remember it said Alexander was enraged that he didn't pay allegiance
to him.
So now the Most High gave him the courage. Now Alexander came different because in a dream he seen, so the Most High intervened on that thing. He gave him the dream showing that, look, you know, you're going to,
I found it.
That you're going to meet the high priest or whatever. So when he met him, he was like, yo, damn, you the one that was in my dream. So he had to change his whole. He ain't come with no rage no more.
Right. Go to Wikipedia real quick and look up Jaddua.
Offer sacrifice too to the Most.
Yeah. He did. Jaddua. Go down to Jaddua Wikipedia on Wikipedia Jaddua. Then jump down to the third. It's going to see Josephus included in the count. It should say Josephus included in the count. It should say.
Y'all got it?
It's on Wikipedia. You were just there. Did you go out of it? You go down. It should say Josephus. It's the third paragraph, maybe. Yes, sir. Read that part right there. Right there.
Josephus included an account of Alexander reading the book of Daniel and believing that the prophecy regarding the destruction of the Achaemenid Empire,
the Persian Empire, go ahead,
was talking about him and his future conquest.
There you go. So Daniel read his own history. He read about himself in Daniel. Go ahead.
The account details Alexander's visit to Jerusalem,
in which he ran into who? Jaddua, the father of Onias the first, who of course gave birth to Onias the second, who fathered Simon the second, and Simon the second gave birth to Onias the third. Okay, now you got the
yes,
book
sir.
now.
Pull that up.
That book. So Sirach 50 verse 1 is Simon the high priest here is Simon the second, who is the son of Onias. The son of Onias here is the second. Then 2 Maccabees 3:1, Onias the high priest, and 2 Maccabees 3:1 is Onias the third, son of Simon the second. Okay? So you write that down. So Onias the high priest in 2 Maccabees 3:1 is Onias the third, and the Onias in Sirach 50 is Onias the second. Okay? Who fathered Simon the second.
What's
all right?
going on?
But Jaddua is the one who pretty much is the father of all the Oniases, pretty much.
All right, pull that up. Blow it up.
I'm in a good mood today. Oddly good mood today. I gotta go work today, but I'm in a good mood. Usually I be miserable as hell. One time I have joyous today is right now. After this is misery again. But I'm in a good mood.
Speak your truth, D.
Yeah.
All praise you in a good mood.
Yeah,
All
'cause
praise.
after the stupidity I experienced in Patient Saints, I had to be in a good mood because God made me.
You had no other choice?
God gave me intelligence. I could be like that. I could be like, like just.
Amazing.
Yeah, jeez.
Messy
God
Jesse.
count your blessings, jeez. You got it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Go down. I meant go up, go up, go up, go up, go up. Stop right there. I'm going to start here. Some of the states could not be influenced and refused to send delegates to the assembly, whilst other states or their representatives had to be bribed to give their consent to the proposed plan. Philip's project of war against Persia was cut short by the hand of an assassin.
Right, he was assassinated. Philip the Macedonian was assassinated by, I believe, one of the Dariuses had him assassinated. Go ahead.
Then appeared his son, the great Alexander, who was destined to remodel entirely the relations of the various countries and to draw the peaceful inhabitants of Judea into the vortex of the great world conflicts. New troubles and new trials were brought upon the Judean people by the convulsions felt from one end of the known world to the other. A Judean seer compared Alexander to a leopard endowed with the wings of an eagle.
Daniel, a Judean seer, compared Alexander to a leopard, Alexander to a leopard, endowed with the wings of an eagle. That's Daniel. Go ahead.
In 2 battles, he gave to the rotten Persian monarchy its death blow. Asia Minor, Syria, and Phoenicia lay at his feet.
Well, the Phoenicia in this context is referring to the Sidonians. The Phoenicians is us, but modern scholars call the Sidonians or Canaanites Phoenicians because Phoenicia is another name for Canaan. But in this context here is referring to the Canaanites. Go ahead. Lay at his feet. Go ahead.
Syria and Phoenicia lay at his feet, and kings and princes, attired in all their pomp, did homage to the conqueror. Tyre and Gaza, the one after a 7 months, the other after a 2-month siege, were both taken, August and November 332, and met with a cruel fate.
Damn.
Go,
He
go.
burnt Tyre to the ground.
Hey, go down.
He conquered Tyre.
Brother, y'all got the wrong page, man. Go up.
Well, that's informative. Go ahead. You got
Yes,
it?
this is the page right here. Yeah, this is the page.
Yeah.
All right, go back to the other page. And we might have to keep reading because it was informative.
Yeah.
Keep reading that, and then that's the page I want, though. All right. Okay, so it says, and met with a cruel fate. How did the insignificant dominion of Judea fare with the invincible hero before whom Egypt, the proud land of the pharaohs, had fallen humbly prostrate? The historical records of those times have come down to us only in the form of legends, and consequently give us no authentic account of the passing events. It is scarcely credible that the Judeans were prevented from doing homage to Alexander through fear of incurring any guilt by breaking their oath to their Persian rulers. They had never taken such an oath, or faulty. But even if they had, after
Is this faulty or fealty?
Felty.
Yeah, that means like honoring. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. After their treatment by the last Persian kings, they would not have felt much remorse in breaking it. There's no doubt that the story of Alexander's approach to Jerusalem and the favors which he heaped upon the Judeans in consequence of a peculiar vision rests upon a legend. The high priest, so it is related.
That's why I said it's historically possible. This is a legend, but who knows? Josephus speaks about it, so maybe true.
Right.
Maybe some truth to it. Go ahead.
The high priest, so it is related, dressed in his holy garments, followed by a troop of priests and Levites, went forth to meet the youthful warrior.
Wearing white. Remember I said earlier, Virtual Library said we was wearing all white. Go ahead.
And produced so great and extraordinary an effect upon him that his anger was at once changed into kindness and goodwill.
Damn.
The explanation given by Alexander to his followers was that the high priest, thus attired, had appeared to him in a dream which he had in Macedonia.
An example of that, and a prime example of a scene like that where Alexander came with the anger and rage, and then as soon as he came in their presence, it humbled him, was Book of Eli. When Eli ran into that dude, and the dude had the gun pointed at him with the glasses on, and Eli was standing there, and then he just put the gun down, and Eli walked off. That's a prime example of that. The spirit just telling you, nah, stand down. And he just stood down. and begin to bow. Read on.
Wow.
There's a scene, if you put on YouTube, there's a scene, you should have seen where the gun points at Eli. So it's I can share that clip. I'll give you an example of what took place here regarding when the guy had the gun pointed at Eli in the book of Eli clip. Let's go there. But in the meantime, you looking for that, read this. Go ahead.
Says the explanation given by Alexander to his followers was that the high priest thus attired had appeared to him in a dream, which he had in Macedonia, and had promised him victory. According to one legend, it was the high priest Jaddua.
Jaddua,
According to another, his grandson Simon.
Oh, there you go. So one legend states that it was either Jaddua, another says it was his son Simon. It says his son Simon, it says Jaddua's son Simon?
Grandson.
Okay, his grandson, so that would be Simon the first, who goes back to we had Onias.
So Onias and Onias have Simon.
Right, Onias had Simon, right. So Onias had first, Onias had Simon, and then Simon had so on and so forth, Onias the second and the third, the same family. Go ahead.
Who produced this effect upon the Macedonian hero. In reality, the meeting between Alexander and the envoys of the Judean community no doubt passed simply and naturally enough. The high priest, perhaps Onias the first, Jaddua's son, and Simon's father, went forward.
They might have been at the same time. Yeah, go ahead.
Like the kings and princes of the land, with a suite of the elders, to do homage and swear allegiance to the conqueror. Alexander was a noble, generous conqueror who punished cruelly only resistance to his will, but in no way interfered with the peculiar development, the customs or religious rights of any nation under his sway.
Right, he didn't bother you. If you worship your own God, he left you alone. As long as you're at peace with him, he's at peace with you. If you resisted, he would destroy you.
So he wasn't like Antiochus.
No, he was like he was different. Go ahead.
He did not force the Grecian faith on any nation.
Nope.
And the favor which he granted to other nations, he certainly did not deny to the Judeans. They were only obliged to pay the Macedonian governor the same tax on their lands as the Persian satrap had received.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So,
that's it?
Yeah, that's it.
That's good. So all praise. That's in the history book. There you go.
So we had some type of freedom of religion.
Under Alexander. So his boys came up, and they had sons, and their sons came, and that evil root, Antiochus, came and changed the game forever.
The hell is this?
All right, and made Greek Negroes. So now you got some history on that. So now you got Alexander pretty much was told, according to prophecy of Daniel, he would be king. All right, he was told that by the priest. He read it himself, and he decided to confirm it and confirm it with Jaddua and them, Jaddua and Simon and them. Now, why am I going through all of this?
Oh, do you want the video?
Yeah, got the video? To show you an example of what I mean by spirit being humbled. In the presence of God or a God or the Most High prophet around you. So before this, he is going through a gum. This ginger, damn.
Right.
This tea is powerful.
Clean
anyway,
your system.
Clean my damn, all right, clean my lungs. Anyway, he had a gun battle just now. So after the gun battle comes to a conclusion, watch this. So he's going through a gun battle now. Watch this. Now, the gun's loaded. He's right in front of him. See that?
Damn.
Can't do it. So look, he's like, well, I can't shoot this dude. That's all I want. That's an example of Alexander coming before Onias and Jaddua. Like, he came angry. Then he was like, the spirit was like, nah, let me bow down. Let me acknowledge the greatness is before me. That's what happened. Same thing in this clip here. Same exact thing. Spirit move you. You ain't coming near his prophets. I'll tell you right now. It don't happen.
Indeed, that also happened with the animals, too. Like in Daniel.
Yeah, the lions. The three holy children. Same thing with the lion. And the fire, too.
And also, during the time of the gladiators, when they sent the wild beasts at us, there was some that wouldn't even touch them.
Yeah.
So they were saying it was like a miracle or something.
Mm-hmm. It was a spirit of, yeah. So now, let's go to what I want to get to. Give me the Greek captivity pamphlet now. The Greek captivity pamphlet. Blow it up, blow it up, blow it up. With the first paragraph. I said something else too. Forgot something. The first paragraph I want, and hold on a second, I gotta send this as well. Forgetting so many things today. I tell you, man, my intelligence, man, it dropped today. I'm forgetting things. Dealing with stupidity. Yep. Read that first paragraph. The pamphlet. This is I have a bunch of captivity pamphlets. I've gone over a number of them. This is the Greek one. Shout outs to the bishop. He gave us these like way back, and I've kept them all. So, read that.
Greek Caucasians are all descended from Esau.
Yep.
The children of Edom.
We went over this before about how the Greeks are undeniably, irrefutably, scripturally descendants of Esau. All right, that's what the Greeks are. Go ahead.
The Bible calls them red because of their complexion, and the blood shows in their skin.
Mm-hmm.
Read Genesis chapter 25, verses 21 to 34. The reason they rule and have conquered all the dark nation of the earth today is because of the blessing the forefather Isaac gave them in Genesis chapter 27, verses 38 to 40.
He blessed Esau with the art of war. Go ahead.
The Greeks were the beginning of their power,
Yep.
being united under Alexander.
Because when you examine European history, you cannot go beyond the Greeks. You ask a so-called white man, where were you before the Greeks? He'll say he was the Egyptians, which is retarded because the Egyptians were Africans. You stupid-ass, lying Caucasian bastard you. Something about you Egyptians. You were never Egyptians. You were never Egyptians.
Shut your white mouth.
Ever. So if you ask them, where's your history before? Where's your history before the Greeks? They have none other than Esau. They were not Egyptians. The Egyptians were Africans. Egypt is in Africa. No, it's in the Middle East. No, Egypt is part of the so-called Middle East or Near East because the Near East is part of Africa. Oh, y'all put me in that zone now.
Bring
Y'all
it out.
crazy.
Yo.
You understand? That's it.
That was a little late on that, but
Yeah, that's all right.
All right.
Now, so the Greeks and Edomites are one and the same. Now, read the next part.
says, read number 334. Read 1 Maccabees chapter 1 through 7. Alexander the Great begins campaign against Persia and defeats Darius III at the river Granicus in Anatolia, Asia Minor.
Come on.
Alexander the Great defeats the Persians. 333 BC. Alexander defeats the Persians under Darius III
Mm-hmm.
again at the Battle of Isis, capturing the Persian queen and her children.
Mm-hmm.
Alexander refuses Darius' offer of ransom and part of his empire. He takes the city of Tyre after siege. End of Phoenician Empire.
Right, that's when he ended the Sidonians' empire, and the Israelites took it over. And we became known as Phoenicians by the Greeks. All right, the Sidonians never referred to themselves as Phoenicians. We are the Phoenicians. Now we did intermingle with them, and we did trade with them because of the alliance between Solomon and Hiram. Remember, Hiram's mom was Northern Kingdom. So you did have that intermixture, but the Sidonians were Canaanites, and the Israelites are Israelites. And the Greeks refer to us, who resided in that region and took over that trade that the Sidonians had. They refer to us as Phoenicians. All right, inhabitants of Phoenice. Phoenice goes back to Canaan, same place. Now, read on.
Alexander and his military entered the land of Israel and marched towards Jerusalem. He was met by the high priest Jaddua, clothed in linen and purple and scarlet, with a mitre having the golden plate whereon the name of Yahweh was engraved.
Yahweh, whatever. Go ahead.
And a multitude of priests dressed all in white garments. Alexander, having dreamed that very moment, dealt peaceably with the Jews and the Levites, sacrificed on his behalf in the temple.
Uh-huh.
The priests did also show Alexander the book of Daniel regarding the great he-goat that should totally smite the Persian Empire. Alexander believed it prophesied of him. Antiquity of the Jews by Flavius Josephus, book 11 chapter 8.
We just read that earlier. Okay? So now, Alexander the Great. Give me 1 Maccabees 1 real quick.
Yes, sir.
Let's deal with him real quick. Alexander. Now, the history of John Hyrcanus is very much non-biblical, other than him being the son of Simon, After that, it stops there. So I'm gonna just recap on the Greeks briefly and give you some background, historical background at the same time. Read that.
First Maccabees 1 verse 1, Deacon?
Yeah.
First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 1. And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Kittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persian and Medes, that he reigned in his stead, the first over
He's
Greece.
smitten Darius. The Darius in that scripture is Darius III. We just read that earlier. Go ahead.
And made many wars, and won many strongholds, and slew the kings of the earth,
The dark nations.
and went through to the ends of the earth, and took spoils of many nations, and so much that the earth was quiet before him, whereupon he was exalted, and his heart was lifted up. And he gathered a mighty strong host, and ruled over
He
countries.
did it in 12 years. He conquered the whole world and conquered the whole old world, known world in 12 years. 20 years old he started. By 32 he was finished. Or 21 he started. And 33 he was finished. Right? Whatever. Yeah, whatever. 12 years. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And
I'll
ruled,
say
o-
20 years. So go ahead.
and ruled over countries and nations and kings who became tributaries unto him. And after these things, he fell sick and perceived that he should die. Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable, and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive. So Alexander reigned 12 years, and then died. And his servants bare rule, every one in his place. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves.
And that's when hell began. That's all I want. So Alexander, why am I focusing so much on Alexander? Alexander, before he became the man that you're reading about now, the great, before he became the great, he was mentored. He had a teacher, a mentor. I wanted you to go to Britannica.com. We're going to look up Aristotle. Okay? Aristotle. Now, Aristotle was one of the most famous Greeks of all time. Okay, the one of the first known scientists. He was a genius. All right, a genius, and he was not the only genius. You had before him. You had Socrates and you had Plato. Okay, but I want to focus on Aristotle for now. Socrates. Well, you'll see. Now, you see his picture right here of Aristotle. It's a white guy, right? White dude. Let's read down now. Just read down on him. Click the questions. What did Aristotle do? Click that first. Yep. Click that one first. Click the arrow. Yep. Click that arrow. You doing? Yes.
It's not working. I don't think it's coming up.
It's not dropping.
Now, you know what? Keep going. Keep going. Sometimes they just have it down.
Aristotle was one of the greatest. Did you say that?
Go down.
They might have to refresh the page.
Try refreshing the page and try it again. If not, I'll read it myself. I need this particular link. I'll read it myself.
Read that. It did say, look.
Aristotle was one of the greatest.
Intellectual figures of the Western history.
No, philosophers who ever lived, it says.
Oh, okay.
I'll read it. It says, Aristotle was one of the greatest philosophers who ever lived and the first genuine scientist in history, which is a lie, but he wasn't the first, but it meant he's recognized as one of the first genuine scientists in history. He made pioneering contributions to all fields of philosophy and science. He invented the field of formal logic. That means deciphering like a detective, a genius. He invented the field of formal logic, and he identified the various scientific disciplines and explored their relationships to each other. Aristotle was also a teacher and founded his own school in Athens, known as Lyceum. All right? Now it says, who were Aristotle's teachers and students? You got something there? Oh.
I'll read it. I got
You got it? Go ahead.
Who were Aristotle's teachers and students? Aristotle's most famous teacher was Plato,
Plato was his teacher. Go ahead.
from 428 to 348 BCE, who himself had been a student of Socrates.
Now, Socrates is rumored to have been a black man and also depicted as a black man. All right? He was a Greek. Socrates. Go ahead.
From 470 to 399 BCE. Socrates, Plato,
So I will not be surprised if Plato was black either. I will not be surprised. All right, go ahead.
Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle, whose lifetime spanned a period of only about 150 years, remain among the most important figures in the history of Western philosophy. Aristotle's most famous student was Philip II's son, Alexander.
So Aristotle's student in his school, Lyceum, or Lyceum, whatever, was Alexander the Great. So Aristotle tutored Alexander. Go ahead.
Later to be known as Alexander the Great, a military genius who eventually conquered the entire Greek world as well as North Africa and the Middle East.
So he was a military genius because he was taught by a genius. Okay? That's why. Go ahead.
Aristotle's most important philosophical student was probably Theophrastus. Theophrastus, who became head of the Lyceum about 323.
So Theophrastus took over the school once he passed on. So now, hold on. Read Aristotle. Go up. Aristotle, ancient Greek philosopher and scientist. Read that. That should be open to read, right? Let's just say Aristotle, Greek Aristoteles.
Right here.
Right there. Read that.
Aristotle, Greek Aristoteles, born 384 BCE. Chalcides, Greece, died 322. Cassius Ioboa, ancient Greek philosopher and scientist, one of the greatest intellectual figures of Western history.
Jump down. Yeah, read on. Watch this. Read on.
He was the author of a philosophical and scientific system that became the framework and vehicle for both Christian scholasticism and medieval Islamic philosophy. Keep that in mind. So it says he established a philosophical system, scientific system that became the framework for the vehicle for both Christian scholasticism. Why Christian? We'll find out in a minute. Why Christian? Christian scholasticism and medieval Islamic philosophy. Why is that? Read on. Even after the intellectual revolutions of the Renaissance, the Reformation, and the Enlightenment, Aristotelian concepts remain embedded in Western thinking.
The way to tackle thoughts and logic now, Western thinking, is based upon Aristotle. Read on, watch this.
Aristotle's intellectual range was vast.
Aristotle's intellectual range was vast, meaning he knew almost everything about everything. Watch.
Covering most of the sciences and many of the arts, including biology.
He knew biology.
Botany.
He knew botany.
Chemistry, ethics, history, logic, metaphysics, rhetoric, philosophy of mind, philosophy of science, physics, poetics, political theory, psychology, and zoology.
He knew all these things. So Alexander became a genius because he was taught by one. Now, why am I focusing on Aristotle? Like, he's this white guy. He's teaching Alexander. He's Alexander the Great's teacher. White guy, big deal. White guy's a genius, right? You might wonder, Deacon, why are you going over this for? What makes Aristotle so special, right? I know. He was a scholar in Christian scholasticism, and he was a scholar in Islamic theology, right? Islamic, what is it? Islamic.
Go back up.
Philosophy. Islamic philosophy. Now, why am I going through so much trouble to talk about this man? Get me, I sent it to y'all in order. Give me this picture right here, next picture, the image of these two sitting down having a conversation. It should be an Arab and another guy. No, wait. Before you go there, go back to Britannica again. This picture. Quickest picture, please. Click that picture of Aristotle, please. Click that, please. Yeah, I want that picture, if possible. There we go. Now that right there is Aristotle, right? See him? Looks like the guy from what's the movie? It's a movie called Eddie Murphy, The Golden Child, Brother Noopsy. Oh. My dear Brother Noopsy, the white dude, the actor, I forgot his name. He's in Dracula Untold, the villain. He's in there. Well, he looks like that actor right there. That's the depiction of him there, right? Apparently, That's Aristotle right
I
there.
like that dude too from what's his name? Romulus. Damn, that name just popped up. I come back to you, Dick. I forgot
Joaquin
which
Phoenix?
movie. Huh?
Joaquin
Yeah.
Phoenix?
No, he's the father of that dude that play
Game of Thrones?
No, what's that dude?
He's in there too. Tyrion Lannister's father. Tyrion Lannister.
The Roman general that got exiled, he killed his own family. That movie.
Talking about Gladiator?
The Gladiator.
Gladiator?
He looked like the king in the Gladiator.
Oh yeah, Marcus Aurelius.
Marcus Aurelius, yeah.
Well, yeah, this depiction looks like that. Looks like those guys mentioned earlier. This depiction of Aristotle looks like this prominent white actors we're talking about now, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, that is Aristotle, right? No, it is not.
Bring it out, D.
Oh,
Get
man.
the next image, please. Get the next image, please.
Come on, brothers. Be on point.
Yo,
Not that one. I don't want that one. It's colorful. There's two of them sitting together. Yep. Blow that up, please.
where's your toilet flush? Where you have that no more? Got a flush?
Everybody see that? Can anybody see that?
Dang.
Now, you look to your left. This is as I said earlier, that he was a scholar of Christian scholasticism, and Islamic philosophy. This is a man sitting next to us. This is a man, an Arab, having a conversation with a black man. Now, to the left is some guy I don't know. This is a book written by an Arab. So you have an Arab on the left, and you have Aristotle on your right. That's Aristotle right there.
Dang.
This looks very, very, very little like the picture we saw earlier. That's Aristotle to your right.
It's clearly a black person.
That's a black man. You know how you know he's black? Because his beard is white. His skin is dark as night.
That's right.
That's Aristotle.
And look at the writings on the bottom. The Arabs.
And you see, it's Arabic. And you see his hand is black too. It matches his hand. His arm is black. His hand is black. That's Aristotle. Okay, now, go to the next image now. I'm going to show y'all the sculptures of him. Does it fit? Hold on. Go to the next one I sent you. Next one I want. This right here. Blow it up. You can put them together if you want. Put them together. That's a sculpture of him here.
A younger version.
That's him there. Younger. Blow it up more if you can. That picture, no, blow a picture up more. I want that picture. Just that one by itself. As far as it goes. Blow it up if you can. Bring it down. I want to see all ones his face. Now you see he has locks hanging from his beard. He has a wide nose and thick lips. That's not a white man's face at all. That's a black man. Okay? That's him with hair. And he got old, he started losing his hair.
Yep.
Now get the next. Now this picture is found where? Go to that. Go where it's found. This is a sculpture from found where? I believe this is found in France.
There's some cathedral.
It's a cathedral in France. I sent you the link. I posted it 3 times by accident. In the group me.
So I know y'all got it.
Yep. There you go. We'll say it's Aristotle. We'll say Aristotle what? Stone carving, what?
Aristotle, stone carving, Chartist, cathedral, welcome. Yeah.
Your Chartist Cathedral. Go down to the bottom. It should say where it is. Does it have a picture? Like it says like a link? Charles Cathedral.
Yeah, read the title.
With the Aristotle, where's
Right there, right there.
Aristotle, stone carving, Chartist cathedral.
Click that link. You can click it. Charles Cathedral. I'll highlight it and then type it in and see where it is. Where's it located? It should say where it's located at. There we go. What does it say?
Aristotle, stone carving, Chartist cathedral. Blow it.
Located where?
I can't see that. Where's it at?
It should say where it's located. Charles Cathedral.
Yeah, keep on finding that it says France.
Yeah, it's France. It's in France. That's why I make sure it says it.
Right there.
Right there.
To your right, to your right.
There we go. That's where it's found. That's the building right there. That's where it's found. What does it say? France. Church. The church in France. Roman Catholic Church in Charlotte, France. Okay? So they have Socrates sculptured as a black man. And listen, in Europe, they don't hide these things. Only in America you find this confusion. Outside, in Eastern Europe and the areas over there, the Israelites being black, that's well known. We're depicted all over their walls of their cathedrals and churches. There's a church that's recently newly opened, I believe, that Putin visited. You got Christ black all on the damn walls in the background on the news. I'm gonna go, damn, it's black as hell with an afro and everything. So us being Israelites being black, that's known among them, right? So now give me the next one. Cologne, Germany. Next one. This is a mosaic of Socrates, of Aristotle. What did I say? We see it there.
It's Cologne, Germany. Mosaic of philosopher Aristotle.
Here we go. Blow it up. This is a picture, please.
That's older.
That's older him, but no, it's older him there.
Black.
Black. It's a black man. But he was a Greek, right? But he was a Greek. How's he black when he's a Greek? That makes sense.
Damn.
This is in Cologne, Germany, a mosaic of him. In Cologne, Germany. We got France in black. We got him in the freaking Germany black. Arab books have him depicted as a black man having a conversation with an Arab because he was specialized in Islamic philosophy and Christian scholasticism. So why Christian scholasticism? Why is that? Remember Plato was his teacher. Remember that? Get that thing you got, Jum Jazz? That thing you showed me earlier? Regarding what the Greek philosophers got their knowledge from? Got you. Got the doctrine from? You sent it to them?
No, sir. I'm sending it now. Here we go. All right, pull that up. Yes, sir.
Let's read this. Remember, Plato was his teacher. You have Plato, Socrates, and Aristotle. I'm not sure if it's in that order, but I know those two came before Aristotle. But they taught Aristotle. So they were geniuses as well. Read that.
Says further, that you may be convinced that when Plato asserted...
Now, who wrote this? Justin, right? The martyr?
Yes, sir. Justin the martyr.
Go ahead.
Says further, that you may be convinced that when Plato asserted that God made the world by a change wrought in matter, previously unformed.
So Plato mentioned that God made the world, all right, that was unformed. Plato said this. Go ahead.
He was indebted to our teachers.
This is a Jew that wrote this. Plato was indebted to our teachers for understanding that God made everything. Go ahead.
That is, to the word of God delivered by the prophets, here the very words of Moses, whom we have before mentioned as the first prophet, and more ancient than any writers among the Greeks.
That would include Plato, Socrates, and Aristotle. Go ahead.
The prophetic spirit declaring by him in what manner and from what materials God in the beginning made the world, spake thus. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Go up. And the earth was invisible and unformed, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters.
Space. Go ahead.
And God said, let there be light, and it was so. Wherefore, Plato and they who agree with him, as well as we ourselves, have all learned that the whole world was made by the word of God, from what was related and made known by Moses, as ye also may be convinced. Moreover, we know what is called Erebus by the poets was before spoken of by Moses.
So the Greek philosophers of their day borrowed from Moses. That's why I say he was knowledgeable in Christian scholasticism, because the Christians, real ones, were followers and believers of Moses. They were Jews, like Moses was. Just like he was. He was a Jew also. And I'm pretty sure Plato and Socrates were too. They were Greek Jews also. Now,
antiquities believed that the Mosai created the heaven, the
yeah.
earth. But today we believe in a Big Bang theory.
Yep, exactly. Now, get me what I want. Give me 2 Maccabees 6. to go into how a Negro became a Greek. And many others around him and before him and after him.
Starting at verse 1, Deacon.
Yeah.
Second Maccabees, chapter 6 and verse 1. Not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers, and not to live after the laws of God, and to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem, and to call it the temple of Jupiter, Olympus.
That'd be Zeus. Same guy. Go ahead. Mars, same thing.
And that in Gerizim of Jupiter, the defender of strangers, as they did desire that dwelt in that place. The coming in of this mischief was sore and grievous to the people, for the temple was filled with riot and reveling by the Gentiles, who dallied with harlots, and had to do with women within the circuit of the holy places, and besides that, brought in things that were not lawful.
Yeah.
The altar also was filled with profane things, which the law forbiddeth. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
So it was illegal for a Jew to profess himself to be a Jew. So what did we become? In the process of that, we became Greeks. We became Greeks. This is what? History of what is known as the intertestamental period. Now, saying something else.
I think I got something else too. Once
All right, I'm going to send this to them as well.
let's go land back.
I sent you something as well on GroupMe. Download that and post it up.
Is it Passover land back?
Read on. Keep going.
Oh, sorry.
Verse 7.
Verse 7. And in the day of the king's birth, every month they were brought by bitter constraint to eat of the sacrifices. And when the feast of Bacchus was kept, the Jews were compelled to go in procession to Bacchus, carrying ivy.
We were forced to worship Bacchus, the god of sex and wine. Go ahead.
Moreover, there went out a decree to the neighbor cities of the heathen by the suggestion of Ptolemy against the Jews.
Against the Jews. Go ahead.
That they should observe the same fashions.
We should observe the same fashions, behavior, culture, traditions as the Greeks, becoming Hellenized, becoming assimilated into Greek culture, becoming Greeks, just like Aristotle, just like Socrates, Jason, alchemists. These are prime examples. The Greeks that Paul spoke to, the Greeks that Paul was ministering to in the New Testament, that's who he's talking to. Go ahead.
And be partakers of their sacrifices.
Go ahead.
And whoso would not conform themselves to the manners of the Gentiles.
To the what?
To the manners of the Gentiles.
We read earlier, same fashions. What's the same fashions? Shaving your beard off, wearing togas, the language, the customs. I was just the same manner. I mean, you behave like them. You speak like them. You think like them. Go ahead.
Should be put to death.
If you don't fall behind, if you don't conform to the Greek culture, you get put to death. If you say you're a Jew and profess being a Jew, you get death. So now you're a Greek. Now, we just here? What does it say here? Biblical history, what does it say there?
Biblical history. You want me to jump straight to it?
No, I read the whole thing.
Okay, yes, sir. 2 kingdoms, Israel, okay, follow Jerusalem.
The fall. So this is the timeline. Judah and Israel split. They both fall. Go ahead.
Follow Jerusalem, restoration, intertestamental period.
So you had the fall, the split of the kingdoms, the fall of Judah, the Babylon. Then the restoration is Persia. Then after Persia, it has what? Who the prophets there has there?
It has Malachi.
Malachi, that's the last book of the Old Testament.
Joel.
Nehemiah.
Ezra.
That's a restoration period. Go ahead.
Haggai.
Haggai and Zechariah.
There
you go. That's the last book of the Old Testament. Then what comes after that?
Intertestamental period.
Then the intertestamental period. That's the testament in between the testaments. Meaning what? The history of what? The Jews becoming Greeks. The Jews becoming the uncircumcision. The Jews becoming the Gentiles. All right? The Jews becoming the Gentiles. What's that saying about at the end there? What's it say there? Read that.
Pompey
Uh-huh.
conquers Jerusalem.
Keep that in mind. That's very important. Pompey, after that period, Pompey conquers Jerusalem. You will hear about that again. That's Rome right there. That's New Testament there. Pompey conquers Jerusalem is Rome. Now.
So wait, so D, you don't know the Bible if you missing the intertestamental period.
Yeah, that's like that's like having a book, and you tear out the whole middle of the book and read the beginning and the end.
You don't know what's
You don't know what the hell's going on. You don't know what's going on. You
to-
stupid as hell.
Y'all
Guys are retarded. You are retarded. Now, Biden.
Hey,
You got
Dick,
something?
Yes, sir. Back up about going back to Socrates and those different Greek philosophers.
Uh-huh.
As you can see, Deacon just proved that he is a black man, right? Watch this. This is going back to saying the same thing that we had read about Moses in the last one. Blow that up. Who took this picture? These guys, man. Now, where's the other page before that? All right. Hey, D, just go ahead, D. You go ahead. I'll wait till they get it together.
You ain't got it yet?
Where's the other page I tell you to get before that?
I want Hannibal, really, but I'm waiting for you. Because I need Hannibal.
All right.
I got it?
So go to the bottom.
Okay.
All right. So it says the results of religious success. Says how Judaism spread. Such pagan businessmen soon found allies in the pagan priests and the other defenders of paganism as a religion. For not only many Jews, but Judaism had been successful. Wherever Jews settled, they brought with them a contempt for paganism, its crude worship of numberless gods, its cruelty, its immorality. The Jews began to write books and pamphlets as which they tried to prove the superiority of Judaism and the truth.
Wow, the Jews wrote pamphlets. That's the way we give out those flyers. Go ahead.
Of God's promise to prefer the Jewish people above any others.
Wow.
So anxious were they for the world to believe that no good could come. Next page. That no good could come. That's not the page. That's not the page. Go ahead, Dick. I don't want to hold you. They got to get the
Got me
the next
picking my
page.
damn tea. Hope they didn't see me picking my damn
I told him the 2 pages. I'm sorry, D. You go ahead. I don't want to.
Oh, God. All right. Hannibal. You got Hannibal?
Pull it up.
I got it? The page he wants? Come on, y'all. Y'all being...
Now you got to go back so I can...
Go back so
Start over.
we can end the thought.
Says the Jews began to write books and pamphlets in which they tried to prove the superiority of Judaism and the truth of God's promise to prefer the Jewish people above any others. So anxious were they for the world to believe that no good could come. Next page. From paganism, and that everything worthwhile must have a Jewish origin. That they made an effort to prove that the great Greek philosophers and the wisdom of the biblical books were in perfect agreement.
Wow.
Some of them went even further and asserted that Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle had been influenced by the writings of Moses.
Wow.
That's it.
There you go. Because they were Jews themselves. That's why. More than likely they were Jews themselves. That's why they were borrowing from Moses. They took the law, the words of God, and intermingled it into their Greek philosophies. That's why it says that he was a scholar of Christian scholasticism.
Right.
That's how.
Said it was in perfect agreement.
Almost like Solomon.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. So now give me the picture of Hannibal real quick before I forget. Picture of Hannibal here. That's Hannibal.
Oh, man.
Really? A North African man looks like that. Really?
hell is this?
That's what we're doing. That's what's popping in the street. We're just gonna make him look like Ted Bundy.
Come
That's what we're
on,
doing?
Esau.
Oh my God!
That's Hannibal. Really? No, it's not. Now we've gone over this already. We've damn near debunked this, but that's their depiction of Hannibal. It's the same thing I showed y'all with Aristotle. White dude, but it's not him. These people, they lie and they lie and they lie. Now, give me the article I sent you before about the Jews. Regarding the Jewish people today. I said earlier that the Greeks are the Caucasian race. Read that there.
Scientists revealed Jewish history's forgotten Turkish roots.
Because the so-called Jews, the so-calleds, resided in that area. Between the Black and Caspian Sea, Turkey's in that same area. Go down.
Right here, D.
Yep, stop from there, you'll see.
New research suggests that the majority of the world's modern Jewish population.
Hold on. That the majority of the world's modern Jewish population, go ahead,
is descended mainly from people from ancient Turkey, rather than predominantly from elsewhere in the Middle East.
Khazars.
Dang.
Khazars. Watch. He's going to say over there. I'll watch.
The new research suggests that
Now, I showed y'all before. I did a video a long time ago called Edom, Rise and Fall of an Imposter. And I brought the books that show, and they're on encyclopedias, that the Khazars came from the Sierra Mountains. Okay? So they're Edomites. Read on. Watch this.
The new research suggests that most of the Jewish population of Northern and Eastern Europe, normally known as Ashkenazic Jews,
Germanic Jews, German Jews, go ahead.
are the descendants of Greeks.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Shout outs to Yediah from Ohio for giving me this article. Shout outs to him. I will not take credit for this. Yediah from Ohio.
Wow.
Sent me this way back. I came across this before, but I forgot about it. Read it again. That the new research says what?
The new research suggests that most of the Jewish population of Northern and Eastern Europe,
That'd be your Sephardic and your Ashkenaz. That's them too. Go ahead.
normally known as Ashkenazic Jews, are the descendants of Greeks, Iranians, and others who colonized what is now northern Turkey more than 2,000 years ago and were then converted to Judaism,
By the real Jews. Go ahead.
probably in the first few centuries AD by Jews from Persia.
Yeah, because remember, I showed you earlier in that video, that class, I taught that the Jews were fleeing from Christian Rome. They were fleeing Christian persecution, and they fled into Khazar territory where it was neutral. You can be yourself, you can be free, be your own religion, remain neutral. They fled into the Khazarian area and stayed there between the Black and Caspian Sea, where they came across the Khazars or Edomites that resided there and converted them into Judaism. And then around 900, you had a king named Cajun Bullen. And then he converted and named his sons Manasseh and Eleazar and all other names. And then they were conquered by the Mongols or the Huns, I believe, or whatever. And then they eventually, that empire broke. It fell. The Khazar Empire fell. And they migrated into areas of Russia, Germany, and Poland. That's where they ended up. And then eventually, 1948, into Israel. Go ahead.
At that
But
stage,
they are descendants of Greeks, Iranians, and others. Meaning Edomite. That's what they are, Edomite. It's the same people. Go ahead.
says at that stage, the Persian Empire was home to the world's largest Jewish communities.
Beware. Go ahead.
According to research carried out by the Genesis, Dr. Aaron
Elhick.
Erhick,
Elhick is I mentioned him in my class. The video, you watch it. It's called Edom, Rise and Fall of an Empire. And I mentioned his scientific studies. And he went to the graveyards of the Khazars and found remains. And their remains were completely identical to the Ashkenazi Jews today. The core of Ashkenazi Judaism is Greek, Iranian, and other would be Edomites who did not subject themselves to the Greek philosophy and so forth, but these are all Edomites. All of them. Greeks, Edomites. Iranians, they mingled with remember the Persians and Greeks mingled together. Remember Alexander the Great conquered Persia and they intermingled. So you got dark Iranians and you have real light ones. That's some Greek babies. Then you have Edomites and Iranians, and Edomites and Arabs mingled together are Turks. That's what that is. Ottoman Turks. That's why they reside where? In Turkey. Because they're Turks. Whites and Arabs mingled together are a bunch of, I call them red or white Arabs, I call them. And those are the ones that were responsible for selling us in the slave trade during the trans-Saharan slave trade. That was them. All right? So that's what I want. So the so-called Jews today are descendants of Greeks, Iranians, and others. Others translates to other Edomites. That's what that translates to. That's what they are. That's who they be. And Romans too. That's them too. All right? So now, what page is that? I want page 20. What time is it now? 2:50. I'll take a break. We'll be back. But my brain hurts. I'm already tired from Peterson's encounter. So let's take a quick break. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. All right? Shalom, y'all. See y'all then.
Shalom.
Men of Israel, sons of God, patient sit, sons of God, hand salute. Salute now.
Today, you think they dress modest?
Got rappers now singing how they love to rob and kill their brothers.
That's all we do up here. We at Israel United in Christ. We reach out the Bible. We teach out the Bible. That's it. We eat, sleep, breathe the Bible.
Can't get no peace no matter where you go.
I tell you, bro. Man, he went crazy when he saw his shirt, though, bro. I tell you that.
Remember
much.
what he said?
Nah, what he said? What he say?
He was like, "No, Papa, he no black because white is right." Dude, crazy.
Man, I tell you, man, our people are bugged out, man. Yo, what's that? What's that over there?
I don't know.
It's a Bible, man. Look at this.
Look where they got it at, though.
Yeah.
Party time.
That's right.
Ahora es tiempo para bailar este luna nueva. Este es pa' que tú, pa' que gocen, pa' que gocen, pa' que gocen. Esta luna nueva, pa' que gocen, pa' que gocen, pa' que gocen. Esta luna nueva. Víctor negro, no es blanco. 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 Estamos bailando en la luna nueva. Estamos bailando en la luna nueva. Estamos pulsando en la luna nueva. Estamos pulsando en la luna nueva.
America is your vain help. Y'all just walk around with leisure, just in ignorance. Ignorance is bliss, but it's not. Ignorance is not bliss.
Right.
Ignorance is death. That's the power of God.
Right.
But y'all don't fear that power though. But you're going too soon. Please report to your nearest bomb shelter in an orderly fashion. When you hear that, then you'll know a prophet has been among you. A president that falls up the stairs and falls asleep during interviews, that's the leader of America. And you got other nations who have nuclear bombs, like America,
Jerry, I see you. What up?
seeing it and laughing.
We're back from the break. We're going to continue on to page 22 of the Greek pamphlet, the Greek captivity pamphlet of Alexander, leading up into the rise of Rome. I didn't forget John Hyrcanus. We're still going into that. Read that. Let's just start there. Read that.
All right, 300 BC, Rome becomes a major world power in the Western Mediterranean treaty between Rome and Carthage.
So at this point in time, Rome and Carthage have a treaty because 300, we're still pretty much Carthage is pretty much a power as well. We are Hannibal on them. We dominating the seas, dominating the Mediterranean. Remember we read earlier, Alexander the Great had conquered the Tyrians or Tyrians. Sidonians, and we took over where they fell. We took over where they left off, over the trades and so forth. But we ended up colonizing areas of Britain. We ended up colonizing areas of Ireland. We ended up colonizing Spain. We took over, all right, during this time. But Rome was rising slowly because remember Daniel prophesied of that fourth beast coming into power, as he did with Alexander being the third beast. Read on.
Says notes, Hellenization outside of Israel.
Here we go.
Immigration. Jews around the Eastern world now look to the West. Trade, government was there.
Trade and government. Because remember, the Israelites, we took on trade because of Hannibal, which was Israel as well. We took upon ourselves the trade routes, commerce, business, shipping, and all that. And we traveled. We had ship ports. We lived there. Go ahead.
Jews around the Eastern world now look to the West. Trade, government was there. Jewish settlements began emerging along the Mediterranean in all the areas. These Jewish immigrants had to learn Greek language, customs, and ideals.
We had to learn Greek language, that's fashions, manners, Greek customs, language, customs, and ideas, philosophies, that's where Plato, Socrates, and Aristotle come in. Go ahead.
Hellenization. Hellas was a Greek name for Greece.
Yes, it was. Go ahead.
The Jews and the founding of Alexandria, Egypt. The community of Alexandria
Egypt is named after Alexander the Great. Alexandria, Egypt. Because he took over that part. Go ahead.
The community of Alexandria is probably the best example of what happened to the Jews under the influence of Greek or Hellenistic culture. The port of Alexandria became one of the most active commercial centers of the world. With many Jews there, they formed an important part of the community. Citizenship depended mostly upon your religion. Each city had a patron god or goddess.
A patron god or goddess.
Patron.
Give me 2 Maccabees 1:1. Regarding there being many Jews there in Egypt. Remember, Israel fled to Egypt numerous times. From the time when Babylon rose up, we fled to Egypt. When Assyria rose up, we fled to Egypt. Okay? Watch this. 2 Maccabees 8. During the time of the Greeks. Watch this.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 1. The brethren, the Jews that be at Jerusalem and in the land of Judea, wish unto the brethren, the Jews that are throughout Egypt, health and peace.
Throughout Egypt, the brethren throughout Egypt, health and peace. Jump to verse 18. So this is the Jews writing, the Jews from Jerusalem writing to the Jews in Egypt. Watch this. 18.
Verse 18. Therefore, whereas we are now purposed to keep the purification of the temple upon the 25th day of the month Caslu,
Hanukkah. Go ahead.
we thought it necessary to certify you thereof, that ye also might keep it, as the feast of the tabernacles,
8-day feast. Go ahead.
and of the fire, which was given us when Nehemiah offered sacrifice, after that he had builded the temple and the altar.
19.
And when our fathers were led into
For
Persia,
when our fathers.
for when our fathers were led into Persia, the priests that were then devout took the fire of the altar privily and hid it in a hollow place of a pit without water, where they kept it sure, so that the place was unknown to all men.
That's all I want. So the Jews in Egypt were ordered to keep the Feast of Dedication where they were at. Not in Jerusalem, fine, but keep the Feast of Dedication in Egypt where you're at. They were told that by the Jews that resided in Jerusalem. So the point I'm bringing out is that the Jews, we always lived in Egypt, always. We always fled there. Because why? Because it's next door. And the promised land's there, and Egypt is right next door. It's like a neighbor. It's like running across the street pretty much.
Right, before the Suez Canal.
Before the Suez conniving canal was built, nonsense is built.
And that's what the angel told Mary and Joseph to go hide.
Flee to Egypt, right. From Herod. Read on, go back to the pamphlet again.
Yes, sir. Says city festivities involve sacrificing to various deities, especially if one held an office.
Come on.
Jews could not participate, so they were not full citizens. Yet they could not be called foreigners because they helped found Alexandria and made it prosperous and important.
We helped found Alexandria and made it prosperous and important. You know what else we did? We also founded Carthage too, and made it prosperous and important. Even though Hamites were there first, we made it prosperous and important. That's how Hannibal and them rose up. Hannibal and his family came from Libya, which is right there next door, which is right under Egypt. All right, or is it next door? Well, next door to Egypt, it's right there. Libya is right there.
Yes, sir.
All right, read on.
The Ptolemies allowed for separate communities for Jews, courts, religion, diet, synagogue, etc. They could not lead in festivals or hold a public office unless they converted to paganism/Hellenism.
We cannot gain a certain political status unless we were completely converted to the Greek philosophy. Go ahead.
The hell is this?
In spite of all this, the Jews and Alexandrians were friendly to one another. Cultural adjustment. As Alexandria prospered, there was more learning and philosophy there than in Greece itself. The Jews were hospitable and also spoke Greek and were somewhat cultured, yet they remained Jews.
Wait, read it again.
The Jews were hospitable and also spoke Greek.
Spoke what?
Greek.
We also spoke Greek. Go ahead.
And were somewhat cultured, yet they remained Jews.
Yet remained Jews. We were Greeks, but we remained Jews. Just like Aristotle. Just like him. Go ahead.
Jews began teaching their children Greek, and second, they translated the Pentateuch.
Pentateuch goes into the Old Testament. Go ahead.
And other Jewish literature into Greek to preserve the Jewish spirit.
So the Jews began to translate the Bible from the Hebrew into Greek. Go ahead.
The Septuagint. The Jews of Egypt surrounded the translating of the Bible.
Go ahead.
285 BC to 130 BC. The Septuagint translated. Ptolemy had a library built in Alexandria, Egypt. It held over 20 times 10,000 books.
Damn.
He so desired to have all the writings of the Israelites translated into the Greek language. 6 elders out of all the 12 tribes of Israel, which had returned during the days of Cyrus,
Days of Persia. Go ahead.
decree were commanded to interpret the laws and testimonies of Israel and translate them into the Greek language.
That's how you got Esther. Remember the book of Esther? Same thing. They found the rest of Esther in Greek. Okay? So it was the same thing. So that's the Septuagint was formed by Jews that spoke Greek. All right, now, let's do next page. Next page. We're going to go to page 26. Oh, and that Ptolemy right there was Ptolemy II Philadelphus. The Septuagint was translated. That's his library. His library was Ptolemy II Philadelphus, that was his library, is rumored. I'll say rumored, because some deny this took place, but nonetheless, the Septuagint was real, so obviously that must have taken place. All right. Page 20. Antiochus captures Jerusalem. Page 26. We're going to start with the most detestable. Start from there.
The most detestable animals, including the pig, were brought and sacrificed on the altar. An abominable act was perpetrated on Kislev 25th, 168 BC, according to the book of Maccabees, that left the Jews desolate. Read 1 Maccabees chapter 1, verse 38. This is the abomination of desolation in Daniel 8, verse 13. Right. But Jesus taught in Matthew 24:15 that this was a preliminary of the second and greater fulfillment of Rome's destroying Jerusalem in 70 A.D., the 70th week of Daniel, Daniel chapter 9, verse 27.
Meaning the Greeks who became the Romans would do it all over again, destroy Jerusalem all over again, defile it and destroy it all over again, but they became the Greco-Roman Empire, which we're leading into now. Go ahead.
And notes, Antiochus, death of Judas Maccabee, 168 to 160 BC. The hopeless situation, the party of the Hasidim.
The party of Hasidim goes into the Hasidic Jews, the Hasidics. Go ahead.
As Hellenism was gaining around the rich upper class, gaining ground, the rich upper class Jews were for it, and the common people adhered ever so strictly to Judaism and the commandments. A new class was forming among the people, the Hasidim. Heb the pious is a term used by the rabbis to describe those Jews who maintain the highest standard of religious observance and most moral action. The first Hasidim, also called the Assyrians or Hasidians.
There you go. So the Hasidim goes back to the term Assyrians, meaning the pious ones, the righteous ones. Assyrians, Hasidim, Hasidians. Go ahead.
Read 1 Maccabees chapter 2, verse 42. Were members of a sect that developed between 300 BC and 175 BC. Rigid adherents of Judaism, they led the resistance to the Hellenizing campaign of Antiochus IV of Syria and were important in the revolt of the Maccabees.
So these are the ones who joined Mattathias and his son and his family to fight against the Greeks. These are the ones who revolted. All right? Read on.
Note, the new heroes, Mattathias and his sons. Northwest of Jerusalem was the little town of Madin. Among the most devoted Jews were the Hasmoneans, descendants of Simeon and Hasmon, the priest.
So descendants of Simeon or Hasmonean, same thing, the priest. Okay, that's his name, Simeon or Hasmon. Go ahead.
Read 1 Maccabees chapter 2, verse 1, who were descended from the priests. The aged Mattathias had 5 sons, Simon, Eleazar, Judah, Johanan, and Jonathan. They knew that the Greeks of Syrians would be arriving in their towns soon too.
Keep that in mind, Syrians, the Syrians, because the Antiochus and them were considered to be Syrians, okay, that took possessions of our land, all right? Remember, Phoenicia was part of our land, and these Syrians took possession of Phoenicia, and they became Syro-Phoenicians. Greeks, white folks became known as Syro-Phoenicians, okay? Keep that in mind. We're going to revisit that later on. Go ahead.
They knew that the Greeks of Syrians would be arriving in their town soon, too. Judah the Maccabee, the hammer of God. About 167 BC, old Mattathias died in the hills. Just a year after the revolt, the leadership moved to Judah, who had distinguished himself above all others in the band. He had acquired the surname Maccabee, derived from Maccabek, the Hebrew word for hammer.
Damn.
That's right.
Judah was the hammer god, used to smite the Greek Syrians. Judah became one of the greatest military leaders of all time. He was as inspiring a general as David. He united the Jews and fought for the independence of Israel.
Go ahead.
The first Hanukkah, Feast of Dedication, with singing, the Maccabean army came to Jerusalem, being in enemy hands for 3 years. The high priest Menelaus fled. Menelaus fled, as did the Hellenized Jews.
The what? As did the who?
As did the Hellenized Jews.
That's the Jews that became Greeks. That turned on their people and became Greeks, full-fledged Greeks, even though they were Jews. Go ahead.
And all the pagan residents, just as almost 3 years earlier, the Jews fled for the hills. The temple was cleansed and the worship was reestablished. They removed every sign of paganism and destroyed the altar that was defiled by pagan.
By the pagans. Now, by the pagan, next page. Defiled by the pagan what?
Defiled by the pagan sacrifices. They also ground the statue of Antiochus/Zeus into dust and erected a new altar. On the 25th of Kislev, 165 BC, they rededicated the temple and celebrated the dedication feast called Hanukkah from Hanak, which means to dedicate.
Right.
For 8 days, just like the Feast of Tabernacles. Read 2 Maccabees chapter 1, verse 18.
Read that earlier. Go ahead.
Christ honored this feast in John chapter 10, verse 22.
Let's get that. John 10:22. Let's get that. Since we're talking about Rome, John 10:22, real quick. Let's show that this feast day was honored in the New Testament. How is a feast day honored in the New Testament? You can't find in the Bible.
Yes, sir.
Wow, man,
The book of John, chapter 10 and verse 22. And it was at Jerusalem, the feast of the dedication.
21. Verse 21 first.
Verse 21. Others said, These are not the words of him that hath a devil. Can a devil open the eyes of the blind? And it was at Jerusalem.
Referring to Christ. Go ahead.
The feast of the dedication.
Go ahead.
And it was winter.
It was winter. Because the feast day was established during the winter time, during the mean season. Why is Christ walking into the temple of feast of dedication? Because he was honoring the same day everybody else honored, the Maccabees. He was honoring them on that feast. That feast day was established during when? The intertestamental period. Any of y'all who have any kind of comments or questions regarding the topic or the time we have left? 312. You can text us at 267-702-6121. That's 267-702-6121. For any comments you may have regarding the class or topics, all right? Regarding the topic. All right, read on.
Yes, sir.
You just have a compliment. Monique Robinson said, Deacon, you are a genius.
Oh, all praises, sis.
That's right. And the people love the music. That sounds so nice.
All praises. We're going to jump down to page, because this is jumping ahead. Go down to Simon Maccabee, an old man. Go down to the bottom of the page 27. Right there. Simon Maccabee was an old man. Read that.
Simon Maccabee was an old man, so he couldn't lead the army in battle, but he faithfully attended to priestly and civil duties. He left the fighting to his sons. One of them was John Hyrcanus. Simon maintained the policy of his brother Jonathan.
So Simon maintained his brother's legacy when he passed on. Get on, next page. Page 28. Should say Simon's death. Yep.
Simon's death, 135 BC, marked the end of the heroic age of the Hasmonean struggle. And Hyrcanus' reign began the policy of territorial expansion.
So John Hyrcanus' main objective was territorial expansion. Territorial expansion. Keep that in mind. Go ahead.
The goal was greater national prosperity.
So his goal to gain national prosperity was to extend Israel's territory wider. Go ahead.
The pagan cities that surround Jerusalem had controlled the commerce previously and hated the Jews. When Syria ran into problems again, Hyrcanus recaptured the cities and developed Jewish commerce.
Go ahead.
John Hyrcanus became the next ruler, and the Syrians agreed with him rather than the Hellenizing Jews.
So the white man agreed with us, but the Jews, the converted Negroes, didn't agree with it. Go ahead.
Hyrcanus promised to be an ally to Syria and to give up the pagan cities except Jaffa, the famous port city. The Hellenizing party now disappeared from the Jewish scene.
Now, though the sellout coon Negro Jews, the Greek Negroes are gone. They're out of the way because John's ruling with the laws of God. At this point, go ahead.
The policy of expansion.
The policy of expansion. Remember, he wanted territorial expansion to increase the prosperity of the nation. Watch this.
He soon conquered Edom.
So he had to conquer. Remember, he was trying to establish expansion. Expansion requires trade and commerce and business. All right? So he had to conquer Edom. Watch this.
He soon conquered Edom, one of the great trade routes between Egypt and Asia.
Because remember, when you enter the land of Edom, there's a port that leads to the Red Sea. It was a port called Ezion Geber. That's in Edom's land, Egypt. It's called Ezion Geber. And that port enters into the Red Sea. And you sail into the ocean and you make all kinds of trade routes and so forth into the ocean. Go ahead.
To assure their loyalty, Hyrcanus compelled the Idumeans, Greek word for Edomites, to adopt the laws and customs of the Israelites or be forced out of their homeland.
Now, do you guys follow the laws of our God? We take your land over and you convert, or we kick you, we kill you or kick you out of here. Your choice. He gave them the ultimatum. Convert or be killed. That's what John Hyrcanus told the Edomites. Watch this.
They agreed and became Jewish.
So this group of Edomites agreed and became Jewish. Go ahead. I got you. Go ahead.
The Jewish people of today are their descendants.
And those people today, read earlier about their descendants of Greeks, Iranians, and others, that's them here. That's the other. That's the others right here. Edomites that resided. They didn't become Greeks. They didn't become Romans. That's the others. What's the text there? Text say?
Says, you read about Aristotle being from the tribe of Benjamin. Don't know how true it is.
I never said he was Benjamin. I never said anything about him being Benjamin. I don't know where you got that from.
It says you read.
You read about Aristotle being from the tribe of Benjamin. Don't know how that is. True that is? I don't know. I don't know. I didn't mention that, so I don't know. I don't know how Benjamin, I mean, it's a possibility. I mean, because the Jews resided, remember, the Southern Kingdom resided there. Who knows? I don't know if he might be in Benjamin, but I know he was black. That's all I knew. That's all I do know. Anything else?
Says, love you, my brother, King Judah Israel.
Oh, praise God.
Oh, there was a question on the comments on YouTube.
What was the question?
It said, was Plato Israel as well?
Possibly. I don't know. I'm going to say I don't know, but more if you have 2 out of 3, I lean towards yes, but I'll look more into it. Socrates, definitely, and Aristotle, definitely. Plato, I don't know. I'm not giving honor to them because they're black, because these guys are evil. They were doing some weird things. They were doing gay stuff. A lot of pedophilia going on with the Greeks at the time. So despite their genius contributions, they were involved in some nasty, evil Greek customs and social norms of that time. So I'm not glorifying Aristotle in any way. I'm just making the point that he was a black man, and he was a genius, and he did borrow most of his philosophies from the Bible, but he intermingled it with Greek philosophy, which is evil as hell. But I'm just pointing out the whitewashing of our forefathers. That's all I'm doing.
Hey, Diggins, so that's why also Alexander was also into that homosexual life as well, right? He had to be influenced by all his teachers.
Who?
Alexander.
Alexander, yeah, he was homosexual. Yeah, his lover was Hephaestus, I believe. His whatever. He died from syphilis.
The hell is this?
Yeah, they were heavily into that. Heavily. He had no kids. He married a woman, but he had no kids. But he was too busy putting his kids in a man. So, yeah.
Oh, man.
That's a good thing right there. First time.
The next part, Jews.
166 BC. Jews under the leadership
Men
of...
can't get pregnant, by the way, so it didn't work. It didn't work. There's no homosexual immaculate conception.
All right. 166 BC. Jews under the leadership of Judas Maccabeus rebelled against the persecution.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Jews under the leadership of Judas Maccabeus rebelled against the persecution of Antiochus IV to 164 when the Jews' true worship is restored. 165, the Jerusalem temple repaired and cleansed. Daniel chapter 8, verse 14. First Maccabees chapter 4, verses 44 to 59.
This is a recap. This is a rededication right here. Go ahead.
164, Antiochus Epiphanes died. Second Maccabees chapter 9, verse 28.
Yes. Well, praise. Go ahead.
160 BC, Judas Maccabeus is killed in battle against Syrians. His brother Jonathan lead the Jews.
Right.
To 143. 157 BC, Judea becomes an independent principality.
Yes.
154 BC, the Jews in Egypt build a temple at Leontopolis.
We built the temple in Alexandria, Egypt, in Leontopolis. Go ahead.
149 BC, Rome's Third Punic War against Carthage begins. Ends 146.
We lost. Go ahead.
Rome's Fourth Macedonian War. Macedonian becomes a real Roman province.
Macedonia becomes a Roman province, and that establishes the Greco-Roman relationship. Text. What's the text say?
Yes. It says, Shalom, deacon and brothers, Most High in Christ bless you all. Coming from Pensacola, Florida.
Florida, okay.
I would like to ask, didn't Simon get killed by his son-in-law?
Mm-hmm.
Also, what other sons were killed?
Damn. Woo. All right. Ptolemaeus, the son of Ababus, was Simon's daughter's husband. So he got some fame. Obviously marrying into a famous family. Got greedy and took Simon out and killed two of John's brothers. Got their names. It's the Second Maccabees. Names them.
Mattathias and Judas.
Mattathias and Judas were killed, and John survived. Those are the brothers. In Second Maccabees, the last chapter, you read that toward the end. That's who was killed. So his sister, what happened to his daughter? I don't know. He might have killed her too. Who knows? Or maybe not. I don't know. But the point is that that's what ended up happening. Son-in-law killed him, killed his family. Tried to get John too, but John caught on, and John killed them first. His assassins first. Let's go. Where we at?
We at 146 BC. Romans destroyed.
Anything else? That's it? That was
Yes,
it.
sir, it's one right here.
One more. Okay.
Oh,
So
sorry.
Shalom, deacon, Most High Christ bless. The Greeks definitely took from the writings of the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Plato's theory of forms goes right with the book of Moses.
Wow.
That the various things the Most High had us build on earth, temple, etc., are images of things in the heavens.
Wow. So he just bought it.
Yo, you missed a question.
There was no question.
Up top right there?
No,
That's
number
from last
20th.
week.
That's old.
Oh.
Where we at?
All right, 146 BC.
149, right?
We read 149.
Okay, go ahead.
146 BC, Romans destroyed Carthage.
There you go. One was destroyed Carthage. Go ahead.
145 BC, Egypt. Ptolemy VII rules under the regency of his mother, Cleopatra II.
This is in the history, I believe, the book of Daniel 11. It goes into that. Go ahead.
Ptolemy the eighth.
No, this is in Maccabees. Go ahead.
Ptolemy the eighth seizes the throne to 116 BC and marries first Cleopatra II and then her daughter.
Cleopatra III. That's what he married. That's in page 29.
Yeah, so he had mother and daughter.
Yep, mother and daughter. These guys have no souls.
Cleopatra III. 143 BC, Judea, Simon Maccabeus, elder brother of Judas and Jonathan, leads the Jews. 134, First Servile War, revolt of Roman slaves in Sicily, crushed to 132. Judea, John Hyrcanus, son of Simon Maccabeus, becomes high priest in Jerusalem, rules to 104.
There you go. Go ahead.
133, Rome, a.k.a. Chittim, begins to expand her empire eastward. 130 BC, the Pharisees began to emerge as a sect.
The Pharisees began to emerge as a sect around this time, 130. Go ahead.
120 BC, Hyrcanus repudiates the Pharisees and declares himself a Sadducee.
So Hyrcanus began to hate the Pharisees and decides to become a Sadducee because the Pharisees, as you're going to read further down, why? You'll find out why. Go ahead.
116 BC, Egypt. Ptolemy the Eighth dies. Ptolemaic Empire is split up. Years of strife follow. 104 BC, Judea. Aristobulus the First is king.
He becomes king. Go ahead.
To 103.
We're going to get there. Go ahead.
103 BC, Judea. Alexander Jannaeus rules to 76 BC. Second Servile War to 99. A revolt by slaves in Rome.
Jump down to 90.
90. Judea. Revolt of Pharisees occurs.
Jump down to 67.
67 BC, Judea, Hyrcanus. The second rules. Civil war breaks out between his forces and those of his brother of Aristobulus II.
Jump to 64.
64, Judea.
No. Go to 65.
5, right?
65, yes.
65.
Watch this.
Pompey and the Roman army invade Syria and conquer Palestine.
That marks the beginning of Rome. Pompey, we read it earlier in that map, that timeline. Pompey captures or conquers Jerusalem. Same thing. Go ahead.
Rome, birth of Horace, dies 8 BC. Poet and satirist. He wrote...
64.
64 BC, Judea. Pompey captures Jerusalem, annexes Syria and Judea.
Takes Syria and Judea. Go ahead.
Aristobulus II, king of Judea, dies.
Go ahead.
Mithridates the fourth of Syria commits suicide.
I don't care. Go ahead.
And John Hyrcanus II become high priest of Judea with Antipater as civil advisor.
With Antipater as his civil advisor. Who is Antipater? We're going to find that out soon enough. What time is it now?
3:26.
All right, so we're going to end it there. We're going to end it right there. We're going to jump into the Pharisees, Lord's rule. Oh, not next week, but the week after next. So prepare your minds to go. We're going to go into the history of the Pharisees. We're going to go into the history of the Pharisees. All right? So all praises to the Lord. Hope you guys got some information. Hope you enjoyed yourselves this week. I'm probably going to go into more scriptures next week and leading up to the Pharisees and Sadducees now because, well, I'm going to go into more of the history of the Hasmonean family falling into disarray. And then we're going to New Testament, and then the Pharisees and so forth, and that's about it. And then Rome, continue to more Roman history. So hope you guys enjoyed the history today. Hope you enjoyed yourselves. I did as well. I learned something today. Hope you guys done something as well. So until then, I will see y'all in 2 weeks. Happy Passover. See y'all next week for Passover. And looking forward to seeing y'all in person or online. All right? Shalom. Most High Christ bless. Oh, shout out to the IT team. Y'all did all right today. Breakfast team, you did excellent. And announcements.
Yes, sir. Hey, Israel, let's give Deacon a hand for that class once again. Fire, fire, fire. Learned a lot today. All praise the Most High. Israel, do not forget to subscribe to our Hidden History Radio. You can subscribe and we'll look at all the classes that Deacon has done over the whole year, all right? They're all on that channel. Hit the notifications button so you know when we go live. Also, subscribe to our other channels, IUIC Philadelphia and IUIC Philadelphia in the Classroom, to get all the camp videos from your officer, from the deacon, captain, and officers of IUIC Philadelphia. Don't forget to donate to IUIC Philadelphia for the Our Hidden History show to PayPal. You can put in the notes section OHH. Our PayPal information is iuic.philadelphia@israelunite.org. Once again, iuic.philadelphia@israelunite.org. Also, don't forget the Booster Club. You can donate to the Booster Club at iuic.fundraising@israelunite.org. Once again, that's iuic.fundraising@israelunite.org. And last but not least, let's not forget to subscribe to IUIC TV, where you can get exclusive content from the leadership. All right, that's it, Deacon.
All right, so shalom, Most High in Christ bless, and I'll see y'all, Lord's will, in 2 weeks. Shalom, Most High in Christ bless.
Shalom.
Y'all have a good day.
Searching for the road to the way back. We don't know our father's going way back. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We the chosen people, you say no way. Enemies are teaching you the wrong way. Do you know it? Do you know it? Oh